In Search of Lost Time by Marcel Proust is not merely a novel. It is one of the most ambitious and profound literary achievements in history. Spanning 7 volumes and over 1 million words, the work is both intimate and encyclopedic, charting the interior life of its unnamed narrator as he navigates childhood, society, love, loss, and ultimately, artistic awakening. Rather than unfolding as a traditional plot-driven story, Proust's magnum opus is a journey into memory, perception, time, and the self. It is a meditation on how we live and how we remember living. The narrative begins with a moment that has become iconic in literary history: the taste of a Madeleine dipped in tea. This seemingly insignificant sensation unleashes a torrent of involuntary memory, pulling the narrator back to his childhood in the small town of Cambrai. From this foundational moment, the novel expands backward and forward, exploring decades of the narrator's life not as a straight line, but as a web of emotions, impressions, and recollections, demonstrating how the past is never really gone. It waits in the shadows of the present, ready to be revived by a smell, a sound, a taste. Over the course of the 7 volumes, Swann's Way, In the Shadow of Young Girls in Flower, The Guermantes Way, Sodom and Gomorrah, The Prisoner, The Fugitive, and Time Regained, we encounter a world that is rich, refined, and slowly unraveling. At the center is the narrator, a sensitive and observant boy who matures into a restless and searching man. His journey is punctuated by key relationships: the doomed love affair between Charles Swann and Odette, his own obsessive, possessive relationship with Albertine, the intoxicating social circles of the aristocratic Guermantes and the bourgeois Vergerins, and his evolving bond with art, literature, and himself. Rather than focus on external drama, Proust explores the psychological depth of these experiences. Love, for instance, is portrayed not as a romantic ideal, but as something built on longing, misperception, jealousy, and imagination. Swann falls in love not with Odette as she is, but as he constructs her to be. The narrator's desire for Albertine is similarly shadowed by insecurity and control. In both cases, love becomes a mirror in which characters project their fears, dreams, and illusions. Time, as the title suggests, is the novel's deepest concern. Proust reveals that time is not merely chronological. It is elastic, felt differently in childhood than in old age, expanded by emotion, compressed by habit, and revealed through memory. His revolutionary insight is that the past is recoverable, not through conscious effort, but through moments of involuntary memory, when something sensory unexpectedly revives forgotten experiences. These moments are transcendent, allowing the narrator to grasp the truth of his life and, eventually, the purpose of his art. As the novel progresses, the narrator moves through the decadent salons of Parisian high society, observing the social pretensions, hypocrisies, and performances that define the Belle Époque. He watches the old aristocracy decline and the bourgeoisie rise, reflecting Proust's acute awareness of social change. Yet what he seeks is not power or prestige, but authenticity, a deeper understanding of self and the world. Through solitude, suffering, and reflection, he comes to realize that the material world is fleeting, but the impressions it leaves behind can be transformed through art into something enduring. This realization comes to fruition in the final volume, Time Regained, where the narrator, now older, wiser, and perhaps ill, has a final series of involuntary memories that reveal the hidden structure of his life. He understands at last that his scattered experiences and sensations contain a truth only art can express. In choosing to become a writer, he resolves to devote his life to capturing the essence of time, much as Proust himself did. In doing so, the narrator turns his life into literature, the very work the reader has just finished. Proust's style is distinctive and challenging. His sentences flow endlessly, looping through subclauses and digressions, mirroring the rhythms of thought and memory. His prose demands patience, but rewards it with insight and beauty. Through this form, Proust invites the reader not to rush through life, but to dwell in its details, to notice the world more attentively, and to honor the feelings that seem most fleeting. Yet what makes In Search of Lost Time so enduring is not merely its philosophical ambition or stylistic innovation. It is the deeply human intimacy of its voice. Proust captures the nuances of longing, the ache of growing up, the instability of perception, and the fragility of happiness with unmatched clarity. He writes not from above, but from within experience, inviting readers into their own memories, their own loves, their own losses. In the end, In Search of Lost Time is a novel about what it means to live fully and to remember truly. It is about discovering that life is not found in grand achievements, but in the smallest sensations, the half-forgotten feelings, the inner reflections that shape our days without our knowing. And in that discovery, Proust offers a kind of redemption, that through remembrance, through the patient work of art, even time, relentless, eroding, inescapable, can be transcended.